Ready, set, go.
Go. Okay, let's kick it off with Padres. There's a lot of stuff swirling around this Mike Shildt deal.
Yeah, let's just talk about what's fact, what's fiction, what do you believe? In essence, maybe who do you blame? We're talking about Mike Shildt walking away from the Padres. I maintain he was burned out. 24/7 baseball man. I was told he spent 12 to 14 hours at Petco Park every day. Took it home with him. He never had a break because baseball was his life. Wins, losses, injuries, problems, solutions. You know, you look at Mike Shildt at age 57, he looked like he was 77. He had no personal life at all. He admits he gave every fiber of his life to this team. He said, I never, ever checked out. That's all he lived for. But now we find out, as the season has come to an end and all the digging from the media, that there was real fallout from within. At least 12 people told the UT that Shildt just created issues and issues and issues with his coaching staff and with the staff that worked with the baseball side of the operation and some of the front office people. That he was unyielding, that he was quick-tempered, that he destroyed relationships, that there was a lot of tension and there was a lot of angst over the way he treated subordinates. It had to be his way. Club was concerned about his defensive, combative nature with people within the front office and his daily get-togethers with the media. He walks away, no buyout. He walked away from 2 years left, $4 million on the contract. He openly admitted he was having stress attacks. He was having sleep problems. He was sick a lot. And he brought up something really special in his farewell letter, that he knew the toll managing took on close friends of his, like Tony La Russa, Jim Leland, Ron Washington, Terry Francona. He says, I no longer have an urge to, quote, sit in a big chair. That means be a manager. He says, I want to sit in my beach chair at my home in North Carolina. A.J. Preller, in his own press briefing this week, said he was never told of any health issues by Shildt until the week of the Padre-Cubs series. They had never talked ever about retirement until that first conversation came up while they were in Chicago. And AJ said it dawned on him that Shildt felt the stress with every loss, said he cared a ton. He said there was no conversation about something future within the Padre infrastructure. Shildt did not want a further job with the organization. Said he respected his blood, his sweat, and his tears, and he was disturbed by the reports that the manager got death threats over the last couple of years, although Preller said that's happened to other people within the Padres over the 11 years he's been there as general manager. AJ used the phrase best job in baseball, the roster, Petco Park, fan support, and all that. Because by saying that, he's ignored the roster issues the Padres have. He's ignored the budgetary restraints they're probably moving into. Now the burning question, what type of manager will come to San Diego? Will it be a veteran guy who's done this before, like Shildt was? Is it a younger manager? Have you learned anything, though, from the failed attempts with, say, Andy Green and Jace Tingler? Do you hire from within because you got all these other trusted baseball people you've worked with who know Padre culture and know how this thing operates? Or do you need a fresh approach by going to somebody from outside? His track record concerns me. 5 managers in 11 years operating under the way Preller does things at Petco Park. And by the way, Preller's got 1 year left on his contract, and at this point, there have been no negotiations on a contract extension, though I would hope that's probably down the road. So here's the question I'm posing to Padre fans. I want you to pour into the fans forum chat box and make sure you get in line. Fact versus fiction. Was Shildt forced out, or did Shildt just walk out? Did Shildt, despite his success, burn the house down with the way he acted and the way he treated people? And at the end of the day, do the ends justify the means and the damage done within? Because this seems no different than the way the Bob Melvin era ended, and obviously prior to that, the failures of Jace Tingler, Andy Green, how Bud Black was treated. Is it the best job in Major League Baseball? Fans Forum chat box is open. We've expressed all the details of what has happened in a week of emails and press conferences and conversations with people. John Riley, your response from left field. Go ahead.
Told you so, man. You know, when we were here on Monday, you were taking the story at face value. And I said, there's got to be more to it. And there is. I mean, we're hearing a lot of disruption, a lot of bad relationships, bad chemistry with Shildt and other members of the organization, the way he treated his coaches. You know, our buddy John Quintera is convinced that he was forced out, that Shildt was pushed out of this. You know, I don't know. It's the whole thing is just sad, you know, because this is a good gig.
This is a great era.
Yeah. And I mean, how many ballparks do you sell out on a Tuesday night? You know, I mean, they have so much fan support, so much love, so much passion for the Padres to win. This is a great place to be. But you look at the track record of all these managers and, you know, like when they hired Bob Melvin, everyone said, Preller finally got the right guy. This is the best manager in baseball. Everyone thought he was the pro's pro. And he ended up having trouble. He's gone. When we got Shildt, we were thinking, hey, solid track record. He should be solid in there. And he performed. You know, so you can blame Preller for, you know, maybe, you know, going with Andy Green initially, maybe reaching for Jace Tingler. I hear you there. But in my opinion, Melvin and Shildt were solid hires. I don't think you can put this back on AJ in terms of he hired the wrong guy. You might say that AJ has created a culture that pushes guys out. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's a possibility.
My gut feel is the infrastructure demands an awful lot. But suddenly, if the thing is coming apart at the seams, maybe the infrastructure is not correct. And it's obvious that based on what has been said and reported and what I know, that Shildt was just being Shildt, which was being a hard ass every minute of every day with people he worked for, relied on to help him. I don't think that's a good environment. But at the end of the day, we got that issue. At the end of the day, we had Preller's interference in the clubhouse during the Melvin era that led to that type of resentment. So is it a good job in the atmosphere that AJ has created? That's a huge debate. I don't know anybody that's gone through 5 managers in 11 years. And now we just add on the addendum issues.
Well, you know who went through a lot of managers was George Steinbrenner. I mean, he was burning through those guys in the 70s.
Crazy man.
Yeah. This deal is crazy. I mean, it's interesting though that how some guys can handle the spotlight up to a certain point, and then it breaks them. And then other guys thrive on the spotlight and really show their best stuff when they're under the spotlight. So it makes you wonder, did Shildt get promoted to his highest level of competence and
not be able to handle it?
Yeah, you know, and like I was listening to Darren Smith on one of his social media pieces, and he was saying that yeah, Shildt is kind of an a-hole, but he gets results, and you know that's what they want, and he protects his players, but he projects a lot of negativity to staff and other people in the operations.
So it spins back to my bottom question: ends justify the means to get to the ends?
Well, first of all, as a general rule, the end never justifies the means, period. Now, in this particular case, the end is the World Series. You know, we didn't have the correct means to get to the end. We failed to get to the end. Again. So, yeah, now, I mean, AJ's got to make another hire. Now, I'm wondering if, you know, Grupner and Kutsenda are back there thinking the same thing as you. Hey, man, 5 managers in 11 years, not counting the interim guys. I mean, are they going to possibly get rid of Preller?
I don't think at this point, but maybe they just sit there and let him work out this final year of the contract and see what this final year is like. But that then creates another problem. I'm a manager, going to bring in a whole new coaching staff. For a GM, it's going to be here 1 year, maybe. Do I want to do that? Or do I have confidence I can do it regardless of who's going to be above me?
Well, that's why you would hope that management would, if you're going to hire or fire Preller, do it as soon as possible, you know, to extend him or get rid of him, because you need to have that stability and those questions answered. And then hypothetically, if they hit the nuke button and blew everything up, the ownership, you'd have to start first getting a new GM before you get a field manager. So yeah, they got a lot of, and to say nothing about all the roster challenges. This is going to be a crazy offseason.
Yeah, November into December is going to be monstrously important for the future of Padre baseball. Okay, we have given you the facts. The facts have changed a little bit from when we were here Monday. I do believe Shildt burned out. I do believe Shildt can't handle working relationships because what happened here sure looks like a carbon copy of what happened when he self-destructed in St. Louis. Are we better off? Well, we had 2 really good back-to-back seasons with him. We've had 5 really exciting years at Petco Park, but they're in a bad set of circumstances now. You don't have a manager, you don't have a leader, you got a roster full of holes, you may have a budget contraction coming, and how are you going to replace all these guys who are going to obviously hit the open market as free agents? Tough set of circumstances.
It really is.
Padres fans forum chat box is open. Don't write a book. Don't send us 7 different opinions. Make it clear, concise, right to the point so we can get to as many. But the fans forum chat box is open. As the Padres are trying to deal with the day after